For more now on the fate of the traditional numeric pager, we welcome to our San Francisco studios Charles Golvin. He is Senior Analyst for Forrester Research. We welcome you and we applaud you for getting up early on the West Coast to come join us at the studio. Always a pleasure to have another face in here in the morning.
My pleasure to join you.
So let's talk a little bit about the drop-off in pagers. What is replacing the traditional numeric pagers that for years we saw on everyone, it seemed?
Well, I think today, primarily what's replacing it are phones. Phones today have what's called short message service, or SMS. Most phones today are only capable of receiving messages, so you can send a text message of 160 characters down to most digital phones. Late last year, we saw the introduction of what are called two-way enabled phones, or mobile-originated phones that can actually send messages as well, still limited to 160 bytes, and also limited by the input capability of a 12-digit keypad on the phone. But still, in Europe, SMS is huge, and in other parts of the world too. I think the latest numbers from the GSM Association are something like 1 billion messages a month sent over GSM networks worldwide.
We're seeing more and more within the industry, especially when we talk about smaller devices and gadgets, consolidation. Everything's coming together. We hear constantly about the PDA cell phone hybrid. I have the Hip Top Danger with me here, which we looked at earlier today. I don't know where. I know I surprised our crew with this, so I'm sorry about that, guys, as I'm holding it up here. But the RIM BlackBerry pager, they all seem to be integrating those different functions. So is this what we're ultimately headed for? Not just a move from the pager to the phone, but the pager to the phone to the hybrid device?
Well, I think that that's certainly a trend in the industry, and it's certainly targeted more at high-end users today, especially enterprise workers, people who have more complexity in the amount of data that they have to manage. Certainly what we're seeing is more intelligence being put into the phone. So even if it's a fairly low-end phone that you buy today, it has two-way text messaging, it has more memory for addresses and things, and more they can support features like email. There's no question that these devices are becoming more popular, but we don't see the PDA kind of device really making it into the kind of numbers that cell phones have enjoyed to date, mainly because the average consumer doesn't have that much complexity in their lives, and until the PDA manufacturers can get the devices a little bit more tuned to specific uses and more average individuals and their needs, as opposed to the all-in-one kitchen sink approach, I don't think we're going to see that mass adoption of PDAs.
Is the traditional pager, though, completely, we've been saying, you know, sort of half-heartedly, half-jokingly rather, that the traditional numeric pager is going the way of the 8-track. It's going to end up in, you know, collector's boxes or something. But it's not completely gone.
No, it's not quite dead yet.
But it is going to die.
Eventually, certainly. But those networks are built. They have better coverage than the digital phone networks that we have today, and so for the user whose connection to his home office, or for the doctor, or somebody who absolutely needs to be sure that wherever they are, they're going to be able to get that information, pagers still provide significant value, and that's going to continue to be the case as the digital networks continue to be built out to, for instance, more rural neighborhoods and things. But I think that what you see is that most people who carry a pager also carry a phone. And once the phone can, with confidence, deliver all the features that the pager delivers, it's really not worth spending that additional $15, $20, $30 a month for the paging service that you might be paying, when most mobile operators only charge maybe $5 a month for 250 or 300 SMS messages.
So when do you see a real significant change happening?
I think we're seeing it now. I think that the paging companies are seeing significant drop-off, and that's going to continue to be the case for the next 4 or 5 years.
All right, well, we're going to bring you in for updates. Charles Golvin, Senior Analyst with Forrester. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.